Ready to hit the pause button on your parenting fails? Ready to feel better about your parenting? Welcome to Parenting Pause, the podcast, where all of you is welcome. I'm Leslie Potter, the founder of the Purejoy Way, a mother, a parent coach, and a fellow traveler on this journey to wake up in our parenting. And I believe together we can make this a better world for ourselves and our kiddos. Lately, I've been noticing how attached I am to things going my way. And even though I am very aware and I spend a lot of time in contemplation and looking, I notice that I go through this cycle. And you may do this too, especially with my child, right? And in my parenting, where I have maybe an expectation of how things are going to go. And then when they don't go that way, I feel a really deep level of disappointment. First of all, with my daughter, and then that disappointment goes back inside because I've spent so much time working on myself, and I always get disappointed that I end up back in this same place where I feel this disappointment, like I wasn't able to transcend in some way this pattern that I have. And so I started noticing this week just my attachment to that story instead of being with what is, and that I may go in and out of these patterns. Most likely I will for the rest of my life. But I notice I have an attachment to being, transcended in my parenting and like everything being peaceful, even though my concepts I know parenting's messy and I know life can be messy, but I just notice on a deeper level, and I want to support you in noticing how I still have this attachment to thinking at some point, right, I'm going to get this thing called life or parenting, and everything's going to be easy and everything's going to be peaceful and I'm just going to glide through. And if you have this, I want you to take a little time. And if you have a SafeSeat practice, and if you don't, you can go to the website and download my 5-day little video that teaches you the SafeSeat practice. But I'm going to support you in sitting back in your safe seat and asking yourself, where inside yourself are you still attached to the one-sidedness of it always being good, it always being peaceful, always being loving, that in a way you're always being attached to the pleasure side more than the pain side. Because the reason I'm going to ask you to do this is when I can really look back on my life, and I would support you in looking yourself, most of the times that I have actually grown, if I can look back and see, or in the challenging times. Because when I am challenged, especially in my parenting, that is an opportunity for me either to act out and keep that pattern going, or it's an opportunity for me to come back in and to look inside and ask myself, like, what am I believing about myself at this moment that's causing my suffering? And I get to practice a lot, and you may too, because in my parenting, I am constantly noticing that pattern again, where I project out on my daughter an expectation, and then it doesn't get met, and then I end up back again looking at that attachment of wanting it to always look good or be peaceful. So take a little time this week and ask yourself, do you feel like you go, it's kind of like a up, down. I notice it, I'll get all excited about something. I think it's going to happen. And then it doesn't happen. And then I collapse into this disappointment. And yet, right in the center of that disappointment is this opportunity for me to go inside when I'll take the time and go to my safe seat to ask myself, where have I put my energy onto life? Where have I tried to control? Where have I tried to see my views and my ideas? Where am I attached to the way I think it's supposed to go? Because every time I am, maybe I'll get some pleasure, maybe things will be good for a little bit. But I can guarantee you the times in my life that I have grown the most, that I have begun to know myself on the deepest, deepest level, is when I have to turn back inside and be with my discomfort. When I turn back inside and question my stories about myself. They start with being about my daughter, but they always end up back inside of myself, especially that story of disappointment. So take some time this week. Slow everything down. Be with your beautiful selves in all of your attachments, all of your glory. And yet, spend a little time asking yourself, what story am I believing about myself that may be causing my suffering? Thank you for listening to this episode of Parenting Paused. If you enjoyed the episode, do me a favor and share it with your mama friends. You can also leave a review wherever you listen, which will support getting the Purejoy message out. Come on over to the Purejoy Parenting Practice Facebook page or join me on Instagram to hear more. And don't forget to download your free copy of the SafeSeat Course on the Purejoy website. And while there, check out the offerings page to go deeper in the Purejoy work.